Okay, so that's where we stopped in class. We're going to go a little bit further than that now. He says, if you get, so here, you have to keep, if you want to use the $ method of referencing a variable, you have to first put the data frame in front of it, then the $, and then the name of the variable. Then you have to do it again. And they're saying sometimes you don't want to keep typing out patient data, and there's just kind of a shortcut that you can do. So what you do is you write the name. You could write, so you could do attach patient data, and then you don't have to put the names of the name of the data frame in front. You can just use age and status. Now, actually, for some reason, it worked up here, didn't it? So, but generally speaking, this is the strategy. You do attach the name of the data frame, and then you don't have to reference it anymore. By the way, first it says, it gives us a little warning here. It says that these objects are masked by the global environment, which means basically that there might have, these variables might have existed somewhere else in some other part of our workspace, but we're now, when we refer to them now, they're going to be pointing to the patient data frame variables. So here, anyway, you can see this table again, just an example of the table again, table function again. So we have across the top, we have the status, excellent, improved, poor, and across here we have the age. So we get a table. So there was one occurrence of this and this, one occurrence of this one and this, and so on. Now, there are some databases or data frames that are already set up in memory when you load in R, and one of them is called mtcars. And I just did head mtcars to see what it looks like, and it's something about cars. These are different types of cars. They're miles per gallon, the number of cylinders, the displacement of the engine, the horsepower of the engine, and some other things, whatever. Different data about different cars, or different aspects of cars. Now, another function that we can do is the summary function, and that will summarize each of these variables in terms of all the data that we have. So if you do summary, like for example, it's going to give me the average miles per gallon, the average number of cylinders, the average of this, the average of these, and even more than just averages. No, sorry. Oh, sorry, I did summary of just MPG, so I get the average for MPG. I guess I could do summary for the whole thing. Let's see that, just to check it out. Yeah, then you get lots of stuff, but let's just do that one. So just for MPG, you get the mean and the median and the third quartile and so on, different aspects of the MPG variable. So the point he's trying to make here is that I had to type in this MTS $MPG. So if I want to avoid that, I can do what? I can use attach MPG, mtcars, and then I don't need to reference it, keep referencing the fact that it comes from mtcars. And you could also plot stuff from mtcars. And then when you're finished, you do this. So it's not automatically, doesn't know automatically that when you say MPG, that you're referring to the mtcars data frame. So you want to sort of clean that up at the end. But it doesn't like that. It didn't like that because I had forgotten to attach it, so before I detach it, it has to have been attached. And now he gives a little warning about this, and he says the limitations with this are evident when you have more than one object can have the same name. So suppose we have a variable called that, and then we do attach mtcars. Then it says the following objects are masked by what was in the global environment. So now, even though I may have wanted to refer to this, once I do this, when I refer to MPG, it's not going to refer to this anymore. So now if I refer to MPG, so he says an alternative to that is to use the with function. So here you say with empty cars, comma, and then you run a bunch of code. Well, sorry, then you have a bracket like this, and you'll have a bracket at the end, and inside those brackets you have a bunch of code, like we did the summary and plot and so on. Now, this will not be the original MPG. It'll be the MPG that's in here, because you're saying with this. He says in this case the statements within the curly brackets are evaluated with reference to the empty cars data frame. You don't have to worry about name conflicts here. In other words, you don't have to worry about maybe there's an MPG already existing which will overwrite this one. No, when you do it in this using with, then definitely this one will take precedence. And he even gives an example here where he says with empty cars, and then he defines stats here and print out stats, and he gets the stats here, but then this is the end of the with, right? We used with here. And so actually now if I print out stats, it doesn't know where that is because I defined it within this with clause, and it only exists within that with clause. And then he says if you need to create objects that will exist outside the with construct, use this special assignment operator here instead of this one. It will save the object to the global environment outside of the with call. This can be demonstrated with this, so you can look at that and make sure that you agree. Keep stats does exist, but no keep stats doesn't exist because one was used with this, whereas the other was used with this. Now, I don't know what happens with an equal sign. I forget. You can check that out. Okay, so check that out. What happens with an equal sign? Does the keep stats work? If I put equals here, can I still refer to keep stats out here or not? Homework for you. Okay, so one more thing we'll do. We won't cover factors this week in this video, so we'll start with that in class. But we'll review factors in class.